I turned 104 years old last Thursday. No cake, no party, just this cup of tea, this chair, and a window with morning light coming through it. And you know what I keep thinking about? How wrong I was. For the first 60 years of my life, 60 years, I chased something that I was told would make me feel complete. Something the world drills into you from the time you're old enough to understand words. And here's what nobody, not one motivational speaker, not one self-help book, not one graduation speech ever told me. The thing they told me success was a why, not a small one, the biggest one. And I want to spend the next 20 minutes telling you what I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Let me paint you a picture of the world I grew up in. It was the early 1940s. You worked, you sacrificed, you kept your head down, and you earned your place. The message was simple, almost beautifully simple. Work hard, get ahead. And we believed it. All of us. Every single person I knew believed it like scripture. Success meant a title, a salary, a house with a fence. It meant your children going to better schools than you did, wearing better clothes than you did, becoming more than you were. That was the dream. That was the measuring stick. Now here's where it gets interesting. I did it. I actually did all of it. By the time I was 45, I had the title, the house, the car, 2 kids in good schools, a name people recognized in my industry. By every metric the world gave me, I had won. And I remember sitting at my desk one Tuesday afternoon in my very important office with my very important job title on the door and feeling absolutely nothing, not happiness, not pride, not peace, nothing. I thought something was wrong with me. I genuinely thought I was broken because the formula had worked, and yet the prize at the end of the formula was hollow. That hollowness, that's the lie. Not the hard work, not ambition. Those are fine, even beautiful things. The lie is what they told you the destination would feel like. Let me be precise here, because I've had decades to think about this. The lie isn't work hard, work hard. That's true. The lie isn't have ambition. Ambition is fuel. The lie is this. We were sold the idea that success is a destination, that somewhere out there is a version of your life, a salary, a position, a relationship, a body, an accolade, that once you reach it, you will finally feel whole. You will finally feel like enough. You will finally be able to rest. That is the lie. Because every single person I have ever known who made it, CEOs, artists, politicians, millionaires, athletes, every one of them looked around at the top of the mountain they just climbed and immediately looked for the next mountain. Do you know what psychologists call this? They call it the hedonic treadmill. The idea that humans rapidly adapt to new circumstances, good or bad, and return to a baseline emotional state. You get the promotion, you feel great for 3 weeks, then it's just your job. You buy the house, you feel great for a month, and then it's just where you live. You reach the goal, you feel great for a moment, then you need a new goal. The treadmill never stops. And nobody told us that when they handed us our ambitions. I spent 30 years running on that treadmill at full speed. And I'm telling you, as someone who is 104 years old and has nothing left to sell you, nothing to promote, no course to push, that the treadmill will exhaust you unless you understand what success actually is. Here's what I want to give you. Not a secret formula, not a 5-step system, just the truth. The kind that only comes from living long enough to watch the whole movie. First truth, the quality of your ordinary days is your life, not your peak moments, not your proudest achievements, your ordinary days. Tuesday afternoon when nothing special happens. The quiet breakfast, the drive to work, the conversation with a stranger, the evening with someone you love doing absolutely nothing memorable. That is where your life actually lives. And for most of my early adulthood, I was completely absent from those moments. I was always mentally somewhere else. In the next meeting, the next goal, the next version of myself that would finally be worth something. When my kids were young and would come ask me to play, I was busy, always building toward that future moment when I'd have time. My oldest son is 79 now, and I think about those afternoons I missed. I would trade every award I ever won for an afternoon back. I'm not telling you this to make you sad. I'm telling you this so you don't do what I did. Your ordinary days are not the waiting room for your life. They are your life. Every single one of them. Second truth, comparison is the engine of the lie. The reason we keep chasing success as a destination is because success, as the world defines it, is always relative. There's always someone richer, someone more recognized, someone further along. In my day, you compared yourself to your neighbors, your colleagues, your brother-in-law. Today, Lord have mercy, you compare yourself to the entire world every single minute of the day on a little glass screen in your pocket. No wonder so many young people feel like they're failing. You're measuring yourselves against a curated highlight reel of 8 billion people. Here is what I know to be true. The people who lived the richest, most contented lives I ever witnessed, and I've witnessed a lot of lives, were not the most accomplished. They were the ones who knew what they valued, who stopped asking the world what success looked like and decided for themselves. They weren't indifferent to achievement. They achieved it, but they chose their mountain, not the mountain that would impress others. There is an enormous difference between those two things. Third truth, relationships are the whole ball game. I know you've heard this. I know it sounds like a greeting card, but I'm going to ask you to hear it differently now, not as a warm sentiment, but as hard data from a very long life. At 104 years old, looking back at 104 years of living, do you know what I think about? Not a single project I completed, not a single deal I closed, not a single award on any wall. I think about people. I think about my late wife's laugh. I think about a friend who sat with me through something dark in 1971 and never once mentioned it again. I think about a mentor who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I think about my grandchildren's faces. That's it. That's the whole archive. Everything else. Every ambition, every achievement, every number and every account, it's all just furniture. The people are the house, and I spent too many years decorating the furniture and neglecting the house. Fourth truth, and this one might sting a little, most of what you're anxious about right now will not matter in 10 years. I promise you this, the presentation you're nervous about, the criticism you received, the competition you lost, the relationship that ended badly, the goal you haven't reached yet, in 10 years, in 5 years, almost none of it will be the thing you're carrying. Life has a way of shuffling the deck constantly. The thing that feels like the biggest crisis of your existence right now is almost certainly going to be a footnote. I am not saying your problems aren't real. They are. Pain is real. Struggle is real. I'm saying that your perspective on them is almost certainly too small. You are in the middle of a very long movie and you're judging the whole film by the scene you're currently in. Gently give yourself more story. You have more story than you know. So what does success actually look like after 104 years? Here's my definition. You can take it or leave it. Success is building a life you don't need to escape from. That's it. Not a life with no problems. Every life has problems. Not a life of constant happiness. Happiness is a season, not a climate. A life you chose. A life that reflects what you actually value, not what you are told to value. A life with enough stillness in it that you can hear yourself think. A life where the people in it feel loved and the days in it feel lived. The young man I was at 35 would have laughed at that definition. That's small thinking, he would have said. The 104-year-old man I am today would take him by the arm very gently and say, "Son, small is where the whole thing is. You just can't see it yet. I don't know how much time I have left." At 104, you make peace with that uncertainty. You actually get quite comfortable with it. But here's what I want to leave you with. You are living in the most distracted, most comparative, most achievement-obsessed moment in human history. The noise telling you that you are not enough, that you are behind, that someone else is winning a race you're losing. That noise has never been louder, and the antidote has never been more important. Slow down. Look at the ordinary day you're in. Really look at it. Ask yourself not what would impress others, but what a well-lived life actually feels like to you. Build toward that. Not the title, not the number, not the version of yourself that would finally earn the world's approval. Because the world's approval, I promise you, does not fill the room. I've had my tea, the morning light is lovely, and that right now, this ordinary Tuesday, this quiet cup, this is as rich as I have ever felt. If this hits something in you, share it with someone who needs it. Not because of the algorithm, because people you love deserve to hear this. Drop in the comments, what does success mean to you right now, today, honestly? I'll see you in the next one.